Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never Mother's Day special. I'm Aunty AK, the auntie of all aunties, and I'm here with...
I'm Farrah, your resident Caribbean queen.
I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And I'm all things sugar and shade, Sade.
Hey! And today we are joined by Queen, Princess, Supreme, Extreme, Glorious, Beautiful, Wonderful R&B superstar, Miss Teedra Moses! Welcome. Just stepped off a plane to celebrate Mother's Day with us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate
and
you.
Where I'm from, we call it not the aunties, the TTs.
The TTs.
Or the TDs.
Or the
the
TDs.
Yeah.
Wow.
TTs or TDs.
I'm doing TD.
You're doing TD.
I'm
10 hours.
doing
I
TD.
say Tanti in Grenada.
Tanti. Okay.
Oh, we just say auntie in Ghana.
Or we say auntie.
Auntie.
Yeah, we're Southern country people.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We like to get up in your business because we're aunties. We like to know everything. So we're going to get in all of your business, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So first of all, what we normally do on our normal show, in our main show, is we like to talk about enemies of progress. And I wanted to ask you, who is your enemy of progress currently? And it could be a person or a place or a thing.
Donald Trump.
I know. It was coming.
He's been here. He has been here.
He lives
Donald
in the
Trump.
bin.
Yeah.
And I don't put a lot of emphasis on him because he doesn't affect my life. Like I don't allow him to affect my life like a lot of people in America does. But you know, him and his entire regime and what they're working to do, it's going to fail. Number one, but he is an enemy to progress because we are all progressing as a society all over the world, and he just wants to see things a certain kind of way that has already died. He's trying to revive something that has already died. So I just feel like I don't want to give him too much time. I'll say that.
I hear that.
He's a big enemy of progress.
So rather than giving him the time, I think for us watching, we're like, why did they vote him? Was there something magical happening that he was really convincing the people?
So you have to understand what he panders to ignorance in people.
Right.
And it's not race. It's ignorance. Ignorance comes in any race, you know? So you have ignorant people with melanin. You have ignorant people without melanin, but they're all broke.
Right.
And he's a wealthy man.
Yeah.
So he's only pandering. He's setting things up for him and his people to be rich and for you to remain poor. So it's just ignorance. You know, he got in there because of ignorance. He plays on ignorance. And he says things like the blacks.
Yeah, we're
And
hearing.
if someone calls you the blacks and you vote for him, you should get everything he gives you.
Right. 100%. Right.
And to be honest with you, I think that America has a karma to pay. And we happen to live in a time where the karma is coming.
Gosh
Deep
darn.
side because we
been
live in a
said.
place where there's the founder of what America started is doing. So, Britain's got a karma to pay as well.
Oh, yeah.
big
Unfortunately, baby, y'all gonna catch a little fallout from whatever we go through because we tied in by the hip. You know what I mean? So
We always do.
Yeah.
Always.
You know, they're
guys sneeze
beefing.
and we
Yeah.
catch a
They're
cold.
beefing
yeah.
this week. Like, they're going to add on tariffs for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's coming for us as well.
What tariffs? For what?
It's going to be on steel, and also on car manufacturing as well.
okay.
And America's our biggest market. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Bye then.
Yeah. The allyship may be over. So.
Oh.
But not between us.
no,
And
we're
not-
good
We're gonna stay.
because that's their problem.
Yeah.
It's not our problem.
Yeah.
I think in these times that what's beautiful that can come from this is community. When the people at the top start to put heavy oppression on the community has to come together to rise above that. So I think that we have to do that not just in the country of America or in Britain. I think the entire diaspora needs to start looking at each other and saying, let's link together because they're surely doing it. They've been doing it and they've taught us to separate ourselves. So I think we should link together and, go ham on them.
Thank you for saying that.
Seriously, can you tell the people in the back, because some of our American cousins, they don't like us at the moment. They really don't, and we're sad about it.
We're very sad.
Yeah.
And we've just been saying exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. You know, we are
Well, you
one.
can't care.
Yeah, there's that.
You can't care because anyone that like minds are going to agree. And if someone doesn't have a like mind, they will never agree with anything you have to say. And just because we have the same complexion don't mean we think from the same brain. You know what I mean? Or from the same heart. You know what I mean? And some people really stand and believe in the soil they were born on. You know, not the blood.
Yeah.
And we can all look at each other and understand it's blood.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't really concern yourself with that.
Let's talk about the soil that you were born on, or where you're from. Where originally are you from, and what's your
I'm
background?
from Louisiana, an area. New Orleans is the main city. I come from an area called Kenner, and
That's where we stayed.
in Kenner by the airport.
Yeah. When we were doing Essence Fest.
Yes.
But that is actually where we stayed. We stayed.
So
in
now
Kenner.
I live in the lower Ninth Ward, like kind of where Katrina.
Oh, wow.
But when I grew up, I lived in Jefferson Parish, where the airport is, where you fly into, and probably where you stayed because it might be a little bit more
cheaper.
calm. Yeah, and cheaper. Yeah, exactly. Cheaper.
You were being nice.
Yeah. All of it is raggedy. God bless it. But we love it. We love it. And I grew up in a place with community. So I grew up in a place with culture, music, food, all these things. I love where I'm from. And that's why I feel the way I feel about community, because the way I grew up.
And what is that source? Because we've heard about New Orleans. We know it's about the music, the vibe, the spirituality. Is that really what it's all about, coming from New Orleans? What makes it so special?
It is. It's one of the blackest cities in America. Atlanta is, but it's a lot of people that come to Atlanta.
Okay.
You know, and they have a lot of black-based people there, but people come from all over the world to Atlanta, black people. And New Orleans is really generational, the black people that are there. And it is one of the areas in the United States of America that retained more of the African cultures and practices. We still do voodoo and things like that. I'm not a person that practice voodoo, but I believe in it, and I believe that it's not bad. I believe that it's only bad because they were using it to fight back the masters. You know what I mean? So they taught us it was wrong. But it's just spirituality and speaking to the ancestors and utilizing them in this realm. And we have a lot of that. We have a lot of spirituality. And so basically we would be like, it's a very Catholic city, a very religious city, right? So it would be like your grandma is going to the Catholic mass, then she going to see the voodoo lady. You know, it's kind of like it all works together. We just have a lot of poverty. So we do this thing called lanyap, where we share, almost like barter.
So is that lend ya?
Lanyap.
Lanyap.
Yeah, where you kind of like extend to one another. Yeah, it's like we look like, so I don't know if y'all grew up like this, but if I didn't have sugar and I was making Kool-Aid, because that's what we drank at the time, I don't do that, it's poison now. But if I was making Kool-Aid and I didn't have enough sugar, I would go to Miss Teresa's house next door and I would borrow sugar. And then when my mama came home from the store the next day, she would bring her a whole thing of sugar. You see what I'm saying? Community. Like, if you do anything, you know, I don't have gas, Shirley, I need to get to work. She'll take you to go to work. Then if you pick her up that day or the next day, she come bring you $15 for gas. We look out for each other. That's how I grew up.
Say that word again. What was it called?
Lanyap.
Lanyap. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly how they explain it. That's how I.
I like that. Me definitely didn't grow up with that. Like we knock on doors, and the other day I wanted to borrow a blender because my blender broke. No one in my block had a blender.
Did you not
No
do us for the
one.
blender?
You did?
Because I was in the middle of cooking.
Yeah, there you go.
Not their line, not a NutriBullet.
They did not even a NutriBullet.
That's
No one in my
crazy.
block had a blender. And we cook so heavily with like the food that we cook, the Ghanaian food. No one had a blender, and I was so surprised. But I couldn't. Yeah, it's not. There's no lanyap in
I've
my.
got quite good neighbours. I'm quite fortunate that I've had quite good neighbours. I live next door to an Asian lady, and she'll bring me food and stuff like that.
Oh,
I'm very and where I used to live, a Ghanaian lady, she used to bring me food and stuff. People always bring me food. It's quite nice.
That is nice.
that's very, very, very
Very
nice.
nice.
I like that.
I'm jealous.
And then so you cook? Do you cook?
I cook. I used to cook much better when I cooked the way I was taught to cook, or the way I learned to cook. But now I try to cook healthy, and I don't quite get that right all the time. I just put a little salt and hot sauce on it.
And that's it.
Keep going. Yeah, but I can cook decent. I cook good fish and vegetables, but I can cook shrimp etouffee, and I can cook. Yeah, I can cook those things.
What's a shrimp and what?
shrimp etouffee. So it's like a red sauce, like a tomato sauce with our Trinity. We call it the Holy Trinity in Louisiana. It's the green bell pepper, the celery, and the onion. That's our Holy Trinity. And you can throw some garlic in there too. And basically you use the Holy Trinity and you saute that down and put in like, you know, your tomatoes and all
Sounds
these
like
other different things.
escovitch.
Well, most of our stuff is just different names.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like our jambalaya, I think is similar to what African countries call a jollof.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Yeah.
Jollof.
Yes.
I gotta say it right. Jollof.
Jollof. Yes.
It's not jollof.
No.
get
Because that's how we want to say it in America. We say
caught up on
jollof.
the name.
Y'all say jollof.
Jollof.
Yeah, exactly. I pay attention.
Off the rhythm. Kind of thing. I love that. But yeah, we have similar. Oh God, I'm scared to say it. No, we basically got in trouble because I said that we have versions of soul food in the UK, and then we got in trouble.
You don't get in trouble. You get in trouble with people that don't understand.
Thank you.
That's it. And you can't hold people to their own ignorance. And I'm not calling these people that disagree with you ignorant in all things, but they're ignorant about culture and your culture, because I've been here and I see the similarities. They just probably never been over here to see it. Or if they did, they just ate fish and chips.
That part.
That part.
I'm not. I see. Sister said
You
it.
don't have to say anything.
I don't have to say anything
else.
else.
Don't have to say
When did
anything
your
else.
voice appear? When did you like? Oh, I can sing.
I don't know, because when I was younger, I sang all the time, but my sisters and brothers be like, Mama, tell her to shut up all the time. But my mother, who could sing, would say, you know, put the air in your diaphragm. She would tell us how to harmonize. We would go to, my uncle had a auto shop, and they fixed cars, but mostly they just drank and talked crap.
Okay.
You know? And we would wait outside for him, like, it felt like hours. So because she didn't want him to drive because he was apparently going to be drunk, you know. So we would wait, and she would make us harmonize, but she had lost her voice by that time. So she would try to show us the parts, like listening to a song or something. Here, listen, that's the alto part, you know. And so she did that. So I think she knew we all could sing, because pretty much all of us can sing.
Wow.
My sisters and brothers. But I think that she saw my interest in it.
Okay.
So when I was younger and I just was singing around the house, you know, even by the time I became like a teenager and we moved to California, she would always say, take care of your teeth so you don't have to get those cavities in your mouth. And back then, you know, it was those black things they put or silver things they put. Your mouth looked crazy back in the days. They call themselves fixing it, right?
Yeah.
And she said, because when the girls are on TV and they open their mouth to sing, you see all that nasty stuff in their mouth. And I don't want you black. That's such a black mom, right? I don't want when you sing. Meanwhile, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, something to get me out the hood. You know what I mean?
So you didn't
I didn't see people making money making music. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she used to tell me that all the time. She used to tell me songs that I should remake that I wish I remember, but I don't remember what she told me.
So how did you switch then from then you wanted to be in like a
Well,
regular?
I saw people doing it.
Okay.
I moved to California when I was about 14, and I met my children's father around that time, and he was following his dreams. And then my best friend Nanja McKenzie, who's a designer and a stylist, and actually I worked with her before I started doing music, and now she styles me. I saw her living her dreams, and then I just saw people living their dreams. And if you show me it can happen, then I believe I can do it. I'm like one of those people you say from the show me state.
Okay.
If I lived in New Orleans, drug dealers were living their dreams. So I was trying to crack one of them. That was my dream.
And did you crack one?
No, my sister, you know, then we moved. My mother moved. Thank God she moved us out of that environment.
No.
Yeah.
My twin sons wouldn't be rappers, they would be drug dealers.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
So
Wow.
Thank
I'm
you
just
so
telling you
much.
What was that
No, but
like,
it's true.
though, like moving from New Orleans to LA?
it was a culture shock because I moved from a city you've been there. It's predominantly black people with black culture, and you know it's safe for me. It was safe for me to suburbs outside of Los Angeles called West Covina, and it was predominantly non-black people. And I felt like in the scary movies, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, it was always a white man killing people.
Yeah.
So I would be more scared than like the crackheads I'm used to that know my family. You know what I mean? So it was a little scary for me. It was culture shock. I remember I spoke very different, and I hated to read. Even though I could read really well, I hated to read because I sound so different. But I was hell bent on keeping my accent because I didn't want to acclimate to whatever they had going on.
What is that thing? Because I think we have here, I guess in the UK, it's like not speaking Cockney and speaking well and enunciating. But I noticed that there's like a north-south divide in accents. And like if you've got maybe a more northern accent, it's perceived more educated.
Yeah, I think that's a part of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
acclimate.
Yeah.
If the more you acclimate to white, the more successful you'll be.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a switch code voice. I never have.
And
This
it's
is what you
worked in
get.
your favour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just this is what it is. And luckily, I don't work in a space where I have to.
Yeah.
My sister got it down pat though. She goes to get the money.
She put her out in front, like,
yeah.
you do the talking, I'll be at the back.
Yes, and can we sign this contract here, please?
Yeah, she
Thank
got it down
you.
pat.
So is your sister like your manager?
Yes.
Right.
She's my. I don't like to call her a manager because that's belittling what she does. She's my business partner in everything I do. Like she's my business partner in anything, whether it's in music or we're investing in something else. I'm the creative. She's the business.
Was that when did that become apparent that you two could navigate the world together like that without beef?
Oh,
But not like real beef,
No, I
like
get
about
it.
money.
Sibling,
So I'm just getting
yeah.
on her nerves and she
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
on mine or whatever. We've grown up a lot. We curse each other a lot.
what's the age gap?
3 years.
Okay.
But I'm the oldest one, but really, she's like the oldest.
Yeah,
one.
I hear
You
you.
know?
Right. Yeah.
But I started doing music, and I was with a production company, and I was writing songs. And at the time, I felt like I should get paid for writing songs. But to this day, a lot of songwriters don't get paid. But I didn't really care about that because my kids had tuition, and I had car notes, and I had rent, and these things weren't getting paid. And I have ulcers every day trying to pay my bills, but I'm working every day, and we're getting placements, and this person is getting $40,000 a track. So I'm like, slide me something. But he would be like, well, I'll pay this for you. I don't work like that. Don't give me anything. Pay me what I'm owed.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do me a favor. Just pay me what I'm owed. And he didn't feel like he should at the time. We're cool now, but he didn't feel like he should at the time. So I just didn't want to fool with them anymore. And so they were pretty much, it was a bad situation anyway because they were my production company and they were handling everything. Oh. And so that was like a good way for God to kind of like push them out. And my sister came, she was only like 23 years old. She had been on the road with Shaggy. And she kind of saw how things were moving. She was just his assistant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like threw her out to the wolves. And she was able to, and we had a good friend by the name of Brian Leach, who was the A&R at the TVT Records, the independent label I was on. And he kind of would just guide us a little bit. You know, even though he worked for the label, he realized like we were not much younger than him, but we were young women that were headstrong, first of all. And I think he thought we had the ability, so he would give us a little game here and there and help us here and there. And she figured it out. Now she knows everything about everything. She knows about touring. She knows about publishing. She knows about administration. Wow. I mean, partnerships, sponsors. She can figure it all out. She redlines everything before it goes to the lawyer because we don't want to spend all that money.
Ooh,
I love that. I need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is one of the biggest lessons in my life.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that helped you stay independent or not?
Yeah.
Did you? And you avoided those kind of like dodgy 360 deals and all those type of stuff?
Oh, well, we weren't interested. I came in before all that stuff.
Okay.
You know, I came in and built my publishing. So by the time I wasn't on the indie label, which I was only on the indie label for, my album came out in 2004. By 2008, I wasn't even on the label anymore because it went away. It went bankrupt or something like that. But they sold my music. I was about to say me.
Oh.
They sold my music to Orchard. And then Orchard had that album, but they didn't have rights to me. So then I just started putting my own music out. And we were able to stay independent because it's hard for me to find a man. Okay. I'm very picky. Okay. So, and it's not even hard for me to find a man because I'm not really looking. I'd rather do things myself than to bring in problems. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather suffice on my own. So that's how I felt about a label. I saw that they weren't really helping people less and less as time went on, were people the artists getting the support. And I felt like I needed it because it was hitting like all this hits my pocket. Everything, every song you hear, I pay for it. Every mix, every artwork, and I pay everybody. I don't ask people to work for free. Everybody on stage, the sound man, everything. So it's hitting my pockets. But in the end, I felt we felt like it was just better for us to have control. And I think that panned out.
I mean, that's the word to the wise. And
You were
like,
doing stuff like that before anyone even knew that they could,
Yeah.
by the sounds of it, because there's a lot of those type of independent
Only
artists now.
rappers, really. Because, see, R&B is very expensive.
yeah,
You know, you can just get and as a woman,
Yeah.
every time I step out, this
Yeah.
mug is like a cool $250 to $500. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
This
yeah.
hair is a cool $200 to $55. Then I gotta get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm $1,000 every time I walk out the house. You know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
So
what was going on? Who was Teedra at the time when you started bubbling with Complex Simplicity? What was going on and what was feeding that music and that thought process?
I was extremely depressed, and
Why?
I had been through a lot of stuff. So I'll just give you a quick timeline. So by the time I'm 14, well, I grew up in a household my mother and father fought a lot.
Okay.
My father abused my mother. And my mother, now that I, in retrospect, was had heavy anxiety.
Sure.
Okay.
So, you know, she didn't cower. She, you know, I don't mean to laugh, but a woman that's abused normally is like real timid. No, she
wasn't.
wants to smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it was like they both were crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So she leaves and we go to California by the time I'm 14, and I meet this boy named Razkaz, who's at the time is
rapper?
a yes,
Oh, right, yeah,
who
yeah.
at the time was a dancer, and
Okay.
he's really cool, and so I'm hanging out with him and it's cool. But then, you know, we end up being together and we have these kids, but he don't want kids. So now I have these kids by myself, and that's 19. So 14 to 19, now I have children.
Oh,
By the time I'm 22 or 23, my mom starts to get ill to the point where she can't move. She has this debilitating disease that makes her like kind of stuck.
okay.
And by the time I'm 24 or 25, she dies. Then by the time I'm like late 25, I start writing this album. So imagine all the things
That's
Yeah.
in there.
that's
out.
pouring out. And I felt hopeless. So I kind of wrote songs that were about my hope for I had a crush on somebody because in retrospect, not because I had a crush on that person, but I just needed to believe in something.
Yeah.
You know, I would sing about good times because I needed to believe in that because I really was rather hopeless.
That Complex Simplicity doesn't sound like what you've just said.
Right.
I remember listening to that on repeat, and it is hopeful.
I
It is
wore that
joyful.
album out.
Wore it out. Like, did you know you had a classical? I know. I guess it's
Everybody
you know,
asked me that
I know.
question.
you
I don't
just-
think anybody knows
Can you
that.
know?
Yeah.
But I did not know, and I did not like it as much as I like it now.
Okay.
I just thought I could do better. I just thought I could do better.
What was the first song that came to you off that album? What?
The first song was Caught Up.
Okay.
I wrote that and arranged that. Neo helped me arrange vocally most of the songs on the album, but that one is the first song I went in and wrote, and I laid it and did all the backgrounds, and we did that really, really quickly. It came to me easy.
Was Neo like a friend?
Neo was signed to the company. Bridge Kid was a production company that I was signed to, and he was signed to them first. And so when they brought me in, I came in there with a crutch and a bad attitude. Okay. I had on crutches.
What did you do?
Literal
Crutches.
I broke my leg. So I used to be a wardrobe stylist with my best friend Nanja. And so we were in Topanga Canyon in California, and it was some rock group we were doing wardrobe for their video. And I had to go down to the set, which was down the hill, but there was a big boulder. And you know, you're young and you kind of like just spunky. So I decided I was going to jump. I was running down because the momentum had started going. So I started to run, and I decided I was going to jump over the boulder. And when I landed, I used to be, this leg is straight now. I only have one bow leg now. This was straight. So when I landed on this leg, it snapped. And so where my elbow is would be the middle of my femur bone. And this would be my knee right here. So I broke my leg, and that kind of like just set me on a trajectory to do something else. Because they were giving me workman's comp. I didn't have insurance. Praise God. I was on work set. So they paid for everything, and they gave me workman's comp. So that put me in a position to start making music and still be able to pay my rent and everything like that. Yeah. We went from there.
What was Neo up to? Had he released anything, or was he just?
He was doing music. They were working on his stuff. and I think he kind of fell out with them a little bit around the time I fell out with them. The guy that was partners with Paul Pauly, who produced the album and executive produced the album with me, he was a drug dealer, which I didn't really know that. He was a drug dealer. I mean, this is the elements that I'm comfortable with. I didn't even know it. I just knew he was somebody I could be comfortable with. You know? And he took my advance and flipped it, but he didn't make no money. He went to jail. So we were just kind of stuck.
He just
we were just kind of stuck. And so Neo went on, and I think that's when he went to. He started writing for a lot of different people and doing stuff like that.
Do any of your songs? Okay, because we saw something recently with Usher. Like one of his tracks.
Yes.
The lyrics that we thought they were that "Cruising the Streets." What song is it? It's "Who's in the Streets."
It's still cruising though, but I think he tricked us. Yeah,
that's what he said. He's trying to remake it. Are there any like lyrics like that for you that people are singing them wrong or misinterpreting them or anything like that?
Really? Backstroke. They say, and it keeps me into you. No, it keeps me yearning you. And it
okay,
into you.
I'm not
because I absolutely didn't know yearning.
Yeah.
How are we going to fit yearning in our voices?
I love the word yearning.
I was saying,
It keeps me into you.
Yearning. I like the rasp on the end.
Thank you. I know I did something right, just about.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yearning, and people always sing that to the point I was like, "Is that what I said?" No. Yearning.
Interesting. See, I knew there has to be one in there.
I think everyone has a song.
Yeah.
Loud and wrong.
Yeah, and we're going to not let you.
They'll be at your concert singing it back to you,
and how dare you correct us either? How dare you correct us?
I know exactly. I let it ride out.
So we've caught up. Did it plant the scene for the rest of the story, or was it just the songs started coming in individual kind of pockets? I don't know. Creating.
I'm a lover girl.
Right.
Like genuinely, like. Most 9 out of 10, if somebody getting their heart broken to be me, that's why I don't do it a lot.
Right.
Because I know I'm like a real lover girl. Like I want to love you down.
Yeah.
You know?
Be inside of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not like in the armpit. You do know that. I would like to be the one loving you good. I want to love you so much that it makes you love yourself. But I just get super into it.
Okay.
But that don't always work.
No.
I think you should be mean to men.
100%.
Talk about it.
I've not tried that technique yet. I'm going to.
Mean.
That's my next
I
one.
I don't date.
The other day, apparently, mean women that don't like men that much make the
They
best
like that.
make the best girlfriends.
To be
apparently,
one of my best friends, aside from my best friend here, she's December 17th. Is that your birthday?
Is she one of us?
She's one of you.
Oh, she's fabulous.
Yeah, and she's she's not mean, but she's very. She's been married since day dot, and she is very much like no nonsense. No nonsense, and she married.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to be like that though. I was like that, but I don't want. That's not the nature of who I am, so I don't want to be like that. But I do think if you're meaner to guys, I think it gives them something to aspire to make you happy.
yeah,
It's
You
motivation.
are
Guys
super
do the
happy.
same thing though. But
it's motivation.
No, you're onto something.
I could be wrong.
Because I
Guys
feel
do the same thing,
I
though.
think you're right. Because I feel like when I've been mean to guys, that's when they're on it. And then when I'm not as mean because I'm into you now, they're like,
yeah, they can
Yeah,
take
it's like
advantage.
I got you.
But
But guys
It's a
do that
chase,
to
I
us. They
guess.
treat us mean to keep us keen. That's been a thing. But
Don't
we just,
treat me mean.
But,
No.
but men tend to do
I
that.
don't want you to treat me mean.
No. Men in the room, answer for the answer for the L's. Yeah.
Tell your boys.
Keep your heads down. Does it? No. But so you had people. Like, I think Usher had Confessions going on when Complex Publicity came out.
Yeah.
John Legend, who's also celebrating 20 years of Get Lifted.
That's another good one. We were just talking about the good albums that came out.
Yeah.
So what was it like at that time? Because we're fans enjoying the music, but you're part of that very important time that we miss in R&B.
Yeah, but I was minuscule in that.
But okay.
Okay, you may feel.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the God honest truth.
Yeah.
I was an indie artist that it was looked at like a stepchild. They had to be told that I was good. You know, they had to be like, the people chose me. It wasn't the industry that chose me. The people chose me. And that's why I always went to the people I did the shows and I did the blogs. This is when people weren't utilizing blogs. They were utilizing magazines and things like that. I went where people weren't going because that's where I always lean into the love, and that's where I was accepted. Yeah, so I don't know what it was like for them.
Really?
I just know it was a luxurious undergrind for me. You know what I'm saying? It looked good, but I was grinding hard like a rapper.
Was that stressful? Did you mind? Were you bothered?
It was. I was in survival mode.
Okay.
So everything was stressful. You know, I was
managing your kids at the same time.
I was taking care of my kids. My brother came to live with me. My cousin was living with me. He had just run away from the army or something like that. And I was like, yeah, you can come here, whatever. and my niece was living with me because her father was having some drug problems. So I was like I was 20-something, 25, 26, responsible for a lot of people. But lanyard. If I got, we all got. You know what I'm saying? It's just some people didn't want to contribute to that, and eventually I figured it out, and I had to, break out on my own. But yeah, I had too much real life. Like the first time I heard my song on the radio, we listening, we celebrating, and I go outside. My brother's being taken to jail for what I don't know.
Okay.
So it was just
Life
a
was
little bit
real.
of it was life. Yeah.
How did you handle yourself? Because obviously now, like 20 years on from that, like we're hearing all these like horror stories about what the industry was like and what some women had to go through and experience, and it's quite disturbing and stuff. Did you how did you kind of like navigate that side of thing, like the dark side of the industry?
I made choices. I didn't have to do anything. I'll tell you, there was one guy when I was doing wardrobe styling. We were on the set and he had on the wrong clothes. So for continuity, he had to go change his clothes. He didn't wear underwear. Oh. I didn't know this. Oh. And he had a large penis. Which I didn't know either.
Was it a nice one?
Now we all know.
It was nice. It's a tainted, disgusting penis.
Just checking.
Yeah, and so we go in there and he had these two guys that will be with him. A darker skinned guy and a lighter skinned guy. And they were like his little minions.
Yeah.
Hangers on.
And so we go into the trailer because he never flew. He would only ride trailers. He drive his trailer to wherever he was going in the country.
Like DJ Khaled, he does that as well.
Yeah. So we go back there into his trailer, and I'm with my head down looking for what he needs to put on. And when I lift up to ask him a question, he's standing like Superman with his hands on it. And he's looking down at himself, and he's looking at me. He's looking down at himself. He's looking at me. And then the homeboy's like cracking up, laughing, And for a second, my ears got hot. And then I just was like, well, here's your pants. Because I'm sure he's done that to a lot of women. Yeah. They just went into what they thought he wanted them to do. I need to take care of my kids. So I don't really care about your penis dangling, sir. Put some pants on. I'll be back tomorrow.
So he was in a top and no trousers?
No, he had nothing on.
Just stark naked.
Yeah, he was just standing there looking at himself, looking at me, looking at himself.
So what you
and I didn't realize it was strange until I went back home. I said, guess what happened to this? My boyfriend, my children's father. I told him, I said, guess what happened? He was so mad at me.
Yeah,
he was mad. He was mad about that, but he didn't say nothing. So he was like super mad at me. I think it's because I told him that his penis was big.
You said too much. You went too far. You started the mean part.
I told him that part. He in his head, he was thinking you could have just said he had it out. Why you have to tell me?
And a lot of times that was done, but see, that wasn't a pressure to me.
Yeah.
And I've never felt like I had to do something to get put on or to keep a job because I've always had faith in God. And anything that doesn't feel like it's from God, I'm okay with it going away.
I love that.
I do. That's it's inspiring to hear.
Yeah, I don't care that much. To this day, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
If it don't come with peace and like if it's gonna degrade me, I'm okay. I love that.
But you still, there were some people in the industry that knew who you were. You had Jada Kiss on the album. You had Raphael Sadiq. So how did they hear about you, and how did you get them on board?
Jada Kiss came through the label.
Okay.
My A&R got him, and he was on a lot of records at the time. Raphael Sadiq, I went to a friend's Christmas party, and he was there, and she, without me realizing, put on the sampler. I had these samplers for my album before it came out, and she put the sample on, and he's like, who is this? Who is this? And I'm just trying to sink into the wall.
Yeah.
Because I was very shy. I didn't feel like it was as great as people thought it was. I just thought it was cool that I could do it, but whatever. You know, I hope Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans like it, you know?
Yeah.
And he just kept saying, who is this? And so we went outside to smoke. We were all outside in the cypher smoking. And he just would keep looking at me and like, because she told him it was me. And I think he was just kind of like getting into my character and all these things. And so the next day he said, and he told her, ask her if she'll come to the studio. And then we just kind of vibed out from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, Jadakiss is one of my favorite rappers. Did you enjoy his verses?
I think he did one of my favorite verse on an R&B record because he didn't pander to me. He just kept it G from his side. You know, he spoke for the men, I spoke for the women. And a lot of times, men will just kind of come with the softy, sweet stuff. And he didn't do that, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, we like
I'm a
it.
fan, super fan. And then, so you are like, okay, I've just got this album. It is what it is. Not that great, but it is great. When did it kick in and when did you realize that, oh, this is what's going to keep
the
me...
road.
Yeah.
When I got to the road, the people make it clear to you. You know, the people make it very clear to you. It was almost scary how people were receiving it. And then it was just like this word of mouth thing. Because there literally was no real press being done. I mean, bits, but compared to what was going on at that time, it was not a lot of press. So it was just like word of mouth and people literally walking up to me and telling me, I used to have a van. No, it wasn't a van. It was an Expedition. And it was wrapped with my album on it.
Okay.
Had BMF on one part because they gave me the money to do it.
Okay.
No way. It had BMF on the hood. It had, like the homeboy works with them. I didn't know who the hell BMF was. I just know they were giving me money. Jeez. And so we would use that to go to the swap meets. And as myself, but I would say that's my sister. And my sister, they would say, is that you? And she would say, that's my sister. So we would say, to me, it would say it was me. And I would say it was her. And we would go and pass out CDs and like do all the street team work. We would do all this ourselves. And I remember I kept it on there for a long time because I used that van. I mean, it was like a couple of years. I still had it on because I would use that van to just work promo and stuff. And a friend of mine came to the studio one day and I pulled into the parking lot. And he said, why the hell do you have BMF on the front of your car? I was like, oh, they gave me the money for that. He said, do you know that? I said, no, and we went around the country. Oh, wow. We went around the country with this car, this Expedition on the trailer. Like, we were trailing that behind our tour bus. And, well, no one ever messed with us.
I was going to say.
No one ever tried to steal anything from us or anything like that. But he was like, get this, because at the time there was beef with the ones in the South and the ones on the West Coast, and I lived on the West Coast, and BMF was not the ones that they claim on the West Coast. I don't know, but he was like, "Girl, get that off your car."
Oh.
I was like, "Okay, whatever."
No, that's a good friend.
Were you ever boxed into, like, okay, so everyone loves Complex Simplicity, loves all those songs, but branching out and trying to do anything different, changing your style? Did you ever feel the pressure to, oh my gosh, I have to stay in this lane because...
No, because after that, one of the reasons I didn't put out an album right away, because I experimented a lot. I experimented. I would throw out these little records, like, I got a record called So Cool that sounds nothing like anything I would ever do. It's just floating around on the internet, like on YouTube or something. But it was a huge song on YouTube because I'm from that era where your music got big on the internet. And if you weren't a part of that, you didn't know because it wasn't played on the radio. Like the cool kids. The cool kids are what got me to where I am. Those kids that are probably now in their late 30s. They're what got me to where I am. But yeah, I didn't feel that way because every time I tried something, even though it wasn't official release, they let me try it and they rock with me, you know? So I didn't feel boxed in.
So let's talk about your new music. You've got some new music out.
Yeah, I put out an album after Complex Simplicity, which was just a bunch of songs that I felt like at the time I had so much. I always have lots of music. I'm always working. I have so much music. So I put that out and it did well. It did really well for an indie album at the time. And I have some records that have become classic records from that. But now I did a lot of mixtapes. Yeah, you did. I did a lot of compilations. But now I have these EPs that are kind of just sitting there. And it's tough because they're about pain and things that I'm done with.
Yeah.
You know, because I went through a situation where it was just pure bullshit. I didn't date for a long time. I had children, I had business, and I had to tend to that. So if a man wasn't coming around that could help the situation, he was hurting it.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't intend to. I'm taking my attention to put on you, but you're not helping this. And I'm really trying to make the situation better for me and my children and my business better and all that stuff. So I just stopped because I also am a lover girl. So I go all in.
Well, you're celibate, right? Or
I'm celibate as hell.
okay.
On
how long?
purpose?
How long?
Where am I looking?
What?
I'm celibate, but I don't want to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
For
making
how
a
long?
choice. It's not true.
How long?
I'm gonna say it, but this is embarrassing.
Oh.
No.
It's 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're about to get
I'm
an
the
itch.
same.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You know,
I don't
I'm
like
at peace
it.
with it. I really
I'm
am.
not at peace with this.
Thank you for saying
It's
it.
fine. It's a 7-year itch. It's fine.
This is not how human beings are supposed to live. See, the thing is that
Agreed.
of course we can have sex. That's not. But
Yeah.
who do I want to have sex with somebody?
Yeah.
And it's been that long for me to find somebody I want to have sex with.
Sade says, what was it? Was it after 5 years? It's like you're now a virgin.
That's just
Virgin
some.
man.
You told me
I've
that.
been a virgin multiple times.
I feel like we're like of a higher spiritual plane now. That's what I believe.
That's what she tells me.
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody. Yes, that's what I believe.
Listen,
She's
I've
that
always
one with
been
the
spiritual.
universe.
I've never been. You know how people would be like, "Oh, I just happen to have sex with." I never can get that drunk. I
Okay.
either want
Yeah.
to, or I don't, and I know it within 5 minutes.
Okay.
what's your
Yeah.
what's your flavor? What kind of guys do you like?
I like intelligent men, and I like cool guys. Like I don't like not the cool like the stuffy. I think I'm so important type. Just
Yeah.
cool, relaxed. Like I smoke, I drink, I like to dance, I like to have a good time. So even if that's not your thing, just be cool enough for it to be my thing. I like people that are comfortable with themselves because I'm extremely comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
And if you're not comfortable with yourself, you're gonna be offended by how comfortable I am
Yes.
with myself. So just cool and like you just really genuinely have to be into me.
Yeah.
Like
hear
I'm
that.
into that.
Yeah.
I'm into you being into me. You know what I mean? So like if you're not into me enough, I just feel like the sex ain't gonna be no good anyway because you have to want to please me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going in like a champion.
Yeah.
I want to be the winner.
Yeah. I hear you.
competition.
No, but you got to show up and be present.
Yeah, I mean, not just be present,
But be
you
like-
have to come and be the A student. In
Yeah. So what is then like you're in the industry?
I don't want.
You don't.
That's
I get
not
it.
an interest.
No,
I mean,
no,
not
I get
that I
it.
don't want. If it was to happen, but that's not what I'm looking
Yeah.
at. You know, I just want a cool guy that I'm self motivated, right?
Sure.
But I just still need inspiration and stimulation. So you can't be somebody that twiddles your thumbs.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I'm constantly inspired to do something, whatever. You have to have something inspiring you too, because that inspires me even more, and I hope I can inspire you. I just want us to spark each other.
Yes.
Good.
I think that's the.
And I'm
fact.
not looking for forever. I have no desire to get married, any of that
Oh.
stuff. Yeah, I just want to be friends and be cool, and then
You
if we
have
end up
your
together,
house. We get together. You know what I mean? You
no,
go
but
back
if we
home.
end up getting to that place, cool.
Okay.
But I'm not like going into with all these intentions.
Okay.
Because that's what's going around. I just saw an article that said that women in America, and it's not just black women, it's white women as well, who are just choosing not to get married because it's a cesspool
Well, why
out
would
there.
I do? I mean, what's the point of it? I have children already.
Mm.
I'm gonna have grandkids in a little while. What is the point of getting married?
I hear that, you know. I think after a certain
mar-
amount of
she's
time,
married.
but I like
Just
we've
saying.
been together 25 years this year when I was 20. So it's different. We built a life.
Yeah.
But let's say, God forbid, touch wood and all the metals.
All the wood.
If something took place, I'm not getting married again. It's just going to be like a companion. And I don't even know. I think I would step into like my independent phase. Where I would probably want to live by myself. I've never lived by myself. I didn't even really. I went from going into my mum's bed to then going into my boyfriend, now husband's bed. Like, so I understand that when you've been independent to just be like, well, let's just have a companionship.
And for me, I just want us to choose one another.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be an obligation.
sense.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to be together, and I could live with you for 3 years if that's what we feel like is working. But if it's not, it's okay to say, well, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
Do they have to have money?
They can't be broke.
No.
And when I talk
just
about
wanted to-
broke,
I just
people
wanted to be
think that I'm only talking about money.
No.
A man that's not broken is not without some money. Period. Because a man that's not broken has an agenda in life. You know, I'm not talking about a millionaire. I'm not talking about you got to make it rain and buy me bags. Anyway, I don't want bags. I want land and homes.
Yes.
Because I can purchase these bags myself. I just feel like you just have to have a progressive mind. And that's what I'm interested in. It's not as much the money as it is the progressive mind to go and to create the life you want. And it takes money to create the life you want. I get money myself. I don't get as much as some people, but I get enough to live a good life. So it's not that I'm looking for money. I'm looking for someone that can have a progressive mind. So when I'm talking, because I'm going to talk money, because I like getting money. So when I'm talking money, you're not intimidated by that.
Yeah.
When I'm talking money, you understand this conversation and you can add to this conversation. That's important to me.
I hear that. And you are the mother of twin boys.
Yeah, who's getting money too.
Yes.
So you got to
talk about raising those boys so that are not going to upset other women. What did you?
Oh,
what was
one of my
important?
sons is married.
Oh,
and
nice.
One is about to be engaged to be married.
Okay.
And they're 29 years old.
Yeah.
I raised them with an understanding of their responsibility to me and to the women that they're going to bring into their lives and to the children they're going to bring into their lives. And I didn't make it this way, God did. So don't look at me about it. So my sons don't whine about their position in life.
Okay.
You know, they understand it's a real responsibility. One of them that's married, he's petrified to have kids because of the kind of father he wants to be.
Okay.
You know, so he's really petrified about that. But I'd rather him care that much than to just go out here willy-nilly and have a child without thinking about what kind of father he's going to be.
And how did they change you? Because you were a young mum, and what did that stir in you, and what kind of outlook how did it change your outlook in life?
They raised me just as much as my mom did. So by the time I was 25 when my mom died. They were 5. So the rest of the way they raised me, I had to start looking at them like a mirror. You know, anything I was doing, I had to, because I screamed a lot. I had a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. I had to get myself together because I'm raising these boys, you know. So it made me it was like me putting a magnifying glass on all the things I had to change. And I loved them enough. I loved them enough to continue with music when I wanted to quit. I loved them enough to crawl out the bed and keep trying when I just wanted to just stand there until I withered away. You know, I loved them more than I could love myself at the time. Yeah. So they gave me everything I needed to keep going.
And did they help you through your grief of losing your mum?
They were too young to really understand it.
And not in vocal, I meant just even because you had maybe a distraction.
Yes, because I had to focus on them.
Yeah.
I had to snap out of I'm going crazy and just focus on them. Yeah, but I did raise them in grief. So poor things. I raised them to be very independent in case I wasn't around.
Right.
Okay.
Because that was a thought. What if I'm not around?
Yeah.
That would happen.
Yeah.
You're young at 25. That would be quite scary anyway. It's like you see mortality right close up to lose your mother as well.
Yeah.
No, that's a lot.
Yeah.
With twins.
Yeah, but
what was it like with twins, like when they were little?
They were fun. They were really fun. Like I'm only to this day we have fun together. I'm only 20 years older than them. So like we would do stupid stuff like get on the skateboards and like go down the hill and get scuffed up.
Oh, that's why you that's with the boulders.
I mean, we would do all that. We play like the lights go out for like a good 3 days. We play hide and go seek with the flashlights. You know, we had fun. We had a lot of fun. They used to say when they were little, I want to have my kids by the time I'm 25. Because they thought that it was fun until they realized it wasn't.
It's like my daughter says exactly the same. She wants to have kids young because of our relationship.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Dip It Low?
We can.
And what happened with that? Because obviously you wrote that song. Not a lot of people know that you wrote that song. Obviously, iconic song and everything like that. And done really super well. But I've heard recently you was actually sued on that song. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's a song I wrote around the Complex Simplicity time. And there's a sound that goes... ding, 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 ding. It's like a little Asian sound.
Yeah.
You've heard it. I grew up watching Saturday morning karate films. So I heard it all the time in there. Yeah, exactly. So it was just to us a common sound. First of all, I didn't make the track. I wrote all the melodies and none of them derived from ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Right? So my part, I didn't think I had anything to do with it, but originally the label tried to clear it. And then didn't follow through. And then these people came back and sued. And it was very costly because they're suing a big label. Right. And they probably have somebody working just to get paid when the payout comes.
Yeah.
I have to pay my people. That's $15,000 every time we sit down for these what they call them mediations.
Jesus.
$15,000 every time we sit down, but they sitting down like every other week. You know what I'm saying? Plus the ongoing bills of paying the lawyer, period, to just be on retainer. It was crazy. It was super crazy, and we didn't understand anything. So I got sued, and then I had to pay all my legal fees, and I had to pay all of the restitution to the people that we did the infringement with. Yeah.
Right. How is it now? Is it like how do you feel about it now?
I don't feel no kind of way about anything. I don't lose anything. You know, that's just, I've lost, well, so-called lost homes, cars, all kind of things. I don't feel anything about lose anything because you can't really lose what's yours, you know.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you, and I will tell you off camera, that God is good.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I hear it.
The money finds its way to me. So.
Yeah. And it still has.
Yeah.
Time. Just co-parenting. How do you do that? How do you do that?
There was none.
Okay.
I was a single mama for real.
Okay.
You know, people be like, I'm a single mom, but the dad will come and get on the weekends or give some money. No, Raz was living his life and getting, I think he just never wanted kids.
Okay.
And you think you want, like, oh no, it should be this way, and I would try to force this. But in the end, maybe I was the parent that was supposed to raise them by myself.
Okay.
For them to become who they are, because I'm very pleased with who my sons are. So I don't have any antipathy against him for it, and they have a relationship.
That's important. That's good.
Yeah.
How did you work through that though? Because surely there must have been some anger,
I
resentment.
cursed him out every time I got mad. Anytime I got mad and stressed and couldn't do something, or I asked him for something, I would let him have it because it wasn't mine to hold. Okay, so if you're gonna have the luxury of not. He called me the devil. That's what he used to call me.
But you know what? That conversation is difficult for mothers who are trying to raise the kids, and then you get labelled as the angry nag, and
You can't tell me who I am.
Yeah.
And if I am angry, I got a right to be. I'm a woman over here raising kids by myself. I didn't do this by myself.
Yeah.
But I just had to go through my emotions to make it through. I wasn't going to try to please it. I'm not that kind of woman.
Right.
I know there's a lot of women out here want to make everybody happy. I'm not that kind of woman. I don't think that's fair for me to take on everything and hold on to everything. No, that was his. I would vent it. I'm that kind of person. I don't know how your friend is. It's a Sagittarius. We get out our fire.
She does.
And once we burn the whole house down, we say, anybody want some food?
I so know Sagi's like that. Definitely.
That's kind of how I dealt with it. You know, it was hard. I'm not going to act like it wasn't hard, but I had a great support system. His mother was there for me.
Okay.
You know,
that's very good.
Yeah.
My best friend Nanja, my sisters, my brother, my sons reference anybody showing them how to be a man. It was my brother, you know.
And when he came back around, how did your boys respond? Were they?
He didn't come back around. They moved to LA and they were grown by this time, and so they started to make a relationship. My sons are very, very. They're so beautiful in their heart. They just accept him as who he is. They can't expect him. And he said things to me like that makes me understand he's their friend.
Right.
He's not a father, and that's okay. And I want to be clear that I'm not speaking against him.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? We
Yeah.
turned out fine. And what I will say is Razkaz told me don't sell your publishing. And that saved us every time. So maybe he wasn't there, but he told me something that made sure I could always take care of him.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's get into your look, because you're damn fine, young lady.
Thank you.
Yes. Gorgeous. In the green and the boots. Yes, your style. What has been your style over the years? How have you maintained your style and your look and looking snatched?
Most of my friends are fashion people.
Okay.
I'm not a fashion person. I like style. I'm not a fashion person. So I have a best friend who has just kind of, early on, she honed in on who I was. And she always felt like I was real macho. She said I'm like really like, I'm feminine, but like a more masculine. I lean on some masculine ways. I think that partly comes from having a masculine position. Being a owner of a business and raising children on your earner, provider, stuff like that. And so she would play into like things that make me look more bossy. Instead of sweet. You know what I mean? So we kind of leaned in, and I just kind of kept going. And now I'm curvier. So instead of me trying to cover them all up, I just put them on out there. I mean, why would I not trying to cover up.
I hear it.
Then it looks
I love
crazy.
when you get to that point though, and you're just like, yeah, this is me.
This
and
is
I love
me.
it.
What
Yeah.
it is. I mean, I'm trying to slim it down, but if it don't, it's still gonna curve.
Yeah. Do you get in the gym? Or do you?
Oh,
are you
I
that
do.
guy?
Yeah, I do Pilates.
Okay.
I do water aerobics. I walk. At one point I was doing kickboxing.
Okay.
Sometimes
Oh,
I
you
do
do
yoga.
stuff.
I hike. I like all that stuff. Yeah.
You walk.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hike.
I walk. Yeah.
The walking's fine. It's
I do like walking.
No,
It's
that's why I said
hiking.
it. That's why I said it like
amazing.
that. Hike.
Well, I've been-
Hiking is in the mountains. God bless Altadena. My family
oh,
was
yeah,
burned. Yeah.
really?
And we used to hike those mountains. My sister, she's snatched. That girl older than me and she looks amazing. And we walked, she's a, soft life wife. You
Yeah,
know?
okay.
So she on my days off when I'm not doing anything, we would walk in those mountains. We would hike those mountains for like 2 hours sometimes. Yeah.
And just
Wow.
quickly on your family in Altadena, are they okay?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
One lost a home. The other we prayed because her house was our main house, and her house survived, and everything around her is burned down.
wow.
Not a, nothing, not even a scuff of ashes on it.
Wow.
Wow.
Prayers.
Prayer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Whiz.
Look at that.
Yeah. We do a
Crazy.
bit. We normally do a bit called "What's in the bag."
Okay.
What's in your handbag? We like to look for your handbag and just know what your handbag
We don't
essentials.
look. You look.
You look. We don't go in your bag.
Okay.
Do you have your handbag?
It is around here.
Can we have your
somewhere.
handbag,
Can you pass
please?
it to me?
And we want to know
I
like
just
your
want to know your beauty.
your handbag
especially
essentials.
your essentials.
I got things.
Oh, look, he's a cute little purse.
This is so cute.
I
Thank
love.
you.
Oh
my God, I love
this
it.
is giving very our era.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
Our
like,
era,
right?
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
love.
So I always have SPF.
Oh, hold your drink. Pause
Okay.
it.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Baby.
Okay. You're one of those black folks that know you have to wear it. Because I don't wear it. I forget to.
Okay, so here's why I wear it. Because I forget what my esthetician tells me. It's melasma or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And so then it like discolors your skin. And this will help with that. I don't use it enough. But that's
Okay.
why I keep it in my bag. I
Okay.
love red lipstick. I keep red lipstick in my
love
bag.
red lipstick.
I keep some
What's your brand?
Yeah. What?
MAC.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
I don't
it?
know which one this
Okay.
is. I think it might be Ruby Woo. It looks like Ruby
That's
Woo.
a different
Ruby Woo.
outside.
That was a good one. You
This
got
is
the
fashion.
orangey
This is
red.
fashion legacy right now.
Oh, that's good.
But other than that, I would wear Ruby.
Yeah,
Ruby
this
Woo is the
I
one.
love it.
And I always keep a hand cream
Of-
with a
yes.
smell on it
Yeah.
because I smoke, not cigarettes.
Okay.
Mix because I smoke, not cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
A little something to look at myself and see if I'm still beautiful. Let's see, a brush today. Carrie Ann gave me shout out to Carrie Ann. She does my makeup when I'm here, and she gave me a brush to keep.
That
my hair
is such a
in.
black girl
It is,
accessory.
honestly.
The
Yeah,
little
Carrie
flat
Ann
brush.
lives together.
The little flat brush in the bag.
Right
is,
now, I got my passport.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Let's see what else we got. Some pens in case I gotta sign something.
Yeah, as you could.
A little lip balm. $1 and a hair.
Now you're going into the crevices of the bag.
Some tissue in case my nose is something.
That bag has got.
That's a
So
Mary
good.
Poppins. That's a Mary
It's a
Poppins
Mary
bag.
Poppins,
Yeah. You're doing good.
and some gum and some keys.
Okay.
Keys to my car, keys to my house.
Do you drive in the UK? Can you figure out the left
Oh
and
no,
right?
we don't play them games. I kill everybody. Yeah, keys to the house and keys to the car.
Okay.
I love
Well, thank you. That was
Normally
very
there's a
good.
little glass container with a nice little something in there to keep my head together.
Hey. Thank you. That's in Teedra's bag.
Love it.
And then just to round up, we've got a section called Aunty Vention. We normally, we want to give you some advice. We stage an Aunty Vention. So can you ask us for some advice? Anything you want some advice from us from
Let's
your new
see.
favorite people?
Yes, you guys are. We dance together and everything.
dance and everything.
Let's see. What do I need advice on? I'm bad at dating.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know how. They say that a man's supposed to feel needed. So my question is, how do I make someone feel needed when I might necessarily don't need you? I just want you, but I want you to feel needed. How can I accomplish that?
This is so common. We've had this before. That was Stephanie's kind of issue as well. I said, take your time, but you have to do it in stages. So you have to give them something. You can do it, like literally like opening a jar, like just stages. Like let them do something that isn't going to make you feel like, oh my God, I'm losing everything to this person. I'm giving them too much of me. Or that I'm letting them in too much. So
I don't mind letting people in, but I don't think like what you just said.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
So you have to think.
Let them
yeah.
open the jar. Like, I don't think about that. I've been opening the damn jar. So but I like the idea of saying, okay, let this person open the jar.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't open this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work
Soft
on
voice.
Little girl.
Soft voice.
that. So you see that my voice
Little
is
lost.
very, very
Yeah,
good.
soft voice. Oh, can you help me with it?
Eventually, can you do that for me? please?
That's what I like that. I like that.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to smile at you and say good luck.
Eventually
Godspeed.
the same.
Thank you.
I
would
wouldn't
say, pretend, isn't it? Like,
I'm not good at pretending though. I have to
you're
find a way for it
real.
to be genuine.
Yeah.
Because if I really can't get the jar open, I will ask for the jar to be open. But I probably fiddle with it for a long time rather than just
Hand it over.
and I'm
Yeah.
gonna learn how to do that.
I think it's just like just understanding that you're taking away a joy for them.
Okay.
Like if you frame it like that
That's good.
brings
They
them
want to
joy.
help
that.
you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I like that a lot. What you got, girl?
I got Jack. Because I don't know myself.
We'll be all
you
three of
just
us
heard.
out. Yeah, we just...
We all got that information
Yeah,
now. You have
we're
to
learning.
utilize it. See when,
Yeah,
when
sure.
something.
Help me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it makes me weak to ask.
No,
make
it
you
doesn't.
weak.
It's just
I don't
interesting.
At all. No, not at all. But it's like that. It's getting that in your head, isn't it? Because I think we've been pretty single, independent for a long time. So you have this thing where you're like, I'm not going to show weakness. I mustn't ask for help. But you can ask for help for certain things.
I don't mind asking. I just I don't think to do it.
Yeah, and it's
that
because you're so
part.
used to just keeping it on. And it's also trust, like allowing yourself to trust someone that they're not... I'm like, I don't want to be vulnerable because you're going to take it and use it against me. And I see those little moments of asking for help as... Yeah.
Now I won't ask you for money or nothing
No,
like
not that.
No.
But simple things like, I need you to pick me up. I'm dropping my car.
Those
I'll do that.
things,
You know,
yeah.
Do you know what it
yes
is?
or no.
I think I have to start. I'll speak for me. I have to start knowing that I can ask for things that I would do for somebody else.
Yeah.
So little things, caring things, like I'd pick you up from the airport, or I'd help you out with, those sort of things. So if I can ask someone for that sort of thing, maybe then.
Yeah.
20 years of flying all over the place, I've never been picked up by a guy from the airport.
What?
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
What's
A
happening?
whole Teedra Moses.
I didn't date.
I know.
I didn't really date. So who was gonna pick me up? But it's okay. We turned over a new leaf. I'm
Yeah,
getting picked up from the airport, girl.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
listen, and you've got a very special show this Sunday.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
talk
Yes,
about
I'm
it.
very, very excited. I have a really cool show being put on by Everything R&B with DJ Ace.
Yeah, woo. Big up
Shout out
DJ
to
Ace,
Ace.
brother Ace.
Come on.
Yeah.
D-Man.
D-Man.
And I have some really cool openers. I try my best to pay attention to good music, but I found good music here in the UK and Shades Universes.
Yes.
Bill,
Amazing.
Manelia.
Okay.
Oh,
I learned of
excellent. I
her
love
recently.
Yeah.
And then myself, and then I have a surprise guest coming to pop out. And I haven't played London. I think I played him a couple of years ago, but before that, it was a couple of years. So I feel like it's been a long time since I had a chance to really connect with the people in London, and I think it's going to be a really good time. Not think, I know for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a good
Amazing.
time.
Great.
So where? Tell the people because we will try and get this out.
Shepherd's Bush.
Yes,
Yes,
that's my
Shell's
local
got it
area.
right.
Yeah, up the road from
My
me.
family are going. They're going to be in the crowd.
Yeah.
We have a good time. Shepherd's Bush and
The manor.
the Mammoth.
The manor.
Sorry,
Manor?
I'm from there.
Oh,
it's the
that's what's
manor.
called a man.
Yeah, you would say the hoods. It's the manor.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying manor.
Manor.
Yeah.
Okay, manor.
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 The manor.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna
You're
be in the manor.
ends. Yeah, that's it.
In the ends.
In the
yes.
ends,
Okay,
yeah.
I just got schooled on the ends.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna be. It's gonna be a good time.
Clip this.
we're gonna have a good time, and I genuinely love
Mm.
the audiences in the UK, specifically London.
Yeah.
You know, I've been getting love here forever, so I think it's gonna be like what I've been feeling with this tour is kind of like a reunion. Even people that probably haven't been to a show in years is gonna come out to the show because we're celebrating 20 years of a really cool album.
What's that moment when you're singing and it's like, where do you feel like you're most joyful? And it's like, yeah, I'm hitting it. Is it the crowd response or when you get a note right? What is that?
It's really when the spirit come in.
Yeah.
It's really when the spirit come in and you kind of start going into the Holy Ghost
Church,
a little bit. You got to kind of pull it back out because for some of it, I'm sensual and sexy, and I'm dancing and I'm moving and all this stuff. And then in certain places, it's kind of just like the spirit, and I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah, I hear it. Well, Ms. Teedra, thank you for stepping off a plane and coming to see us.
Thank
You are a new honorary auntie. Thank you so much. This has been Your Aunties Could Never. Check out Teedra Moses. She's amazing. And we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye. 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 Bye.
I've